560 Beasley Lane. I'm here today to ask you to consider Mr. Fogel's proposal. Before I went to jail, I thought that only drug dealers or people with weapons actually went to jail for marijuana. I've since learned that's not the case. I had this misconception because very often offenders are cut slack, which in the case of marijuana possession means losing the right to drive for 6 months, having to pay for an SR-22, mandatory classes, and dishing out over $1,000. Other times, the judge makes an example of people and sentences the heaviest sentence possible. Virginia law allows police to assume that a person with more than a half ounce of marijuana is distributing it. This is akin to determining that a person with a case of beer intends to distribute it, since no reasonable person would consume it in one sitting. Colorado and Washington have just passed laws that legalize twice that quantity for personal consumption. One of you who opposed the resolution expressed concerns about sentencing guidelines and a willingness to look at Mr. Fogel's proposal. I don't know how long of a sentence the current guidelines permit, but I know that I was given a 5.5-year sentence, 6 months active. It could have all been active and will be if I'm to re-offend, as OAR statistics show 42% of those convicted for marijuana possession do. If I were a marijuana addict, which I am not, the Commonwealth's cure for me would be 5 years in prison. This is for possession. I do not know why the high rate of recidivism is used as evidence that marijuana smokers should be incarcerated. This statistic is evidence that either people don't realize they will go to jail for a second possession, or that they have an addiction issue that they may need to address. However, jails do not rehabilitate drug users. This issue is to migrate from the realm of criminal justice to that of public health. Virginia locked me out with no attempt to rehabilitate me, save the looming threat of 5 years in prison. By losing my right to vote, I learned that this discussion is off limits in Virginia. Never mind that there was no aftermath, no one was injured. I was in jail with a man my age who killed someone while drunk driving, and his sentence was lower than mine. It's almost flattering that my right to vote was perceived as such a threat that it was taken away from me. However, I'd be kidding myself if I let that loss make me feel empowered. Please put Mr. Fogel's proposal on the agenda. It solves almost all of the issues that you guys expressed about the resolution. It prohibits marijuana and imposes a fine on violators. This does not send a message to kids that marijuana is okay. Some of you also said the resolution wasn't city business. Well, ordinance is city business. Also, from a racial perspective, as long as drug laws have been around, they've been enforced selectively, leaving a massive racial disparity in prisons. Eliminating custodial sentences for simple marijuana possession will help. Based on your objections to the resolution, all of you should be at least willing to consider Mr. Fogel's proposal. Please put it on the agenda.
Thank you.